It is almost E3 time. Last year, we did not have this experience. We didn't have the opportunity to discuss what we think is going to happen at E3, but lo and behold, E3 has returned June 12th through the 15th. It's going to be happening online, but it's still happening. So we're going to talk about our predictions, and maybe some of those predictions are going to bring up some rumors and kind of discussion around all of that. And then eventually we'll get into some of the other news that's happened. But we wanted to spend a little bit of time tonight just kind of talking about our predictions, expectations of what we hope to see at E3 2021. So each of us have 3 predictions. We're going to kind of go through just one at a time, and some of them might spark some discussion. There may be some that we agree on. There may be some things that we disagree on. So just going to be a fun discussion. If you guys have any of your own predictions or hopes, dreams, things you're excited for around E3 2021, make sure you let us know in the live chat, but also you can let us know in the comments after the fact. And also Discord, social media, all those sort of things as well. But Barry, you want to get us kicked off with what you're hoping for, or your predictions? I don't know. I guess that could be the same thing, but not necessarily. They're not mutually exclusive. Predictions for E3. Give us one of them, Barry.
So I feel last year without E3 2020. The Mario 35th presentation that we had, the Mario 35th Direct, was supposed to be earlier. I feel like it was supposed to be in an E3, and they just kind of pushed it towards the September just because that's when things were going to come out. So I do really feel this time, as part of the presentation, there will at least be one celebration of an anniversary, one little section devoted, whether it be Zelda, Metroid, or anything else. I do feel we will see the equivalent of what Mario 35 had in the E3 presentation. So if it's, maybe you'll extend it instead of like a 30-minute presentation, 45 or an hour long, however long they do it. But I do feel a section of that will be devoted to some type of anniversary.
Nice. Yeah. Probably Zelda. Would you say if you had to put money on it?
I'd say Zelda would be stronger just because of Breath of the Wild 2. However, there's also Metroid Prime 4, so both of those games have strong possibilities. And then Donkey Kong, I think, is an anniversary as well this year. I think it's the 40th, if I'm not mistaken. There's the rumor of a new Donkey Kong game, and there's a couple games or series have anniversaries this year. So who knows?
Okay. Sounds good. Greg, how about one from you?
All right. Well, this is my 3 wants that I put on for mine. They'll be going through, so I don't know how realistic all of them are. They're just stuff that I would obviously love to see. So with that preface, I guess piggybacking onto the Zelda, I really think we'll get a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer and also a release date /window period. So I'm thinking that it will probably be a holiday 2021 title. I think based on the rumors and stuff that I've heard, I think it's pretty much about ready to go. And I think they kind of learned how they introduced the first one, and then it was like years before we even really saw anything else and all that jazz. So they only had that little teaser this time around, and now I think it's probably to get flushed out and be included in the E3 show this year.
Nice. Yeah. Jixter just says, let's hope it's better than the mess that Summer Games Fest was last year. I think it should be. I hope so. Let's see. As far as my predictions go, normally it's funny that I'm looking at them and going, well, some of them could have been considered safer than others, but I feel like in a way they're almost all safe now, except for maybe one of them. But I'm going to go with one that I actually, this is a prediction for 2021 that we made several episodes ago. I'm just going to bring it back. I think Game Boy Advance is going to be announced for Switch Online. I think, SNES was announced at E3 past. I think Game Boy Advance would be the next one, and it makes sense to announce that this year. So Game Boy Advance moving to Switch Online, and maybe they'd have some fun and, launch it with the same games that we got for the ambassador program or something like that. But yeah, I think GBA is going to be showing up on the Switch Online, and I think it's going to be like one of those things that, like, yeah, today after the presentation, you can you'll be able to find it on the eShop. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Barry, how about you? Next one.
My next one actually ties in that I do think, even though we just had the Nintendo Switch Online games, actually on our last podcast 2 weeks ago when they announced the new NES and SNES games, I do think that this year we will see a brand new system added to Nintendo Switch Online, except I didn't go as far to say Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. I'm not sure. It could be N64, it could be Game Boy, it could be Virtual Boy for all I know. But I do think that we will see that, and there's a chance that if that happens, there might be an increase to the Nintendo Switch Online yearly rate and even monthly rate and all that stuff, which will probably prompt people going crazy trying to buy existing cards and upping their membership to get like grandfathered in.
Nice. Do you have a expected price, or do you want to get that detailed? What do you think they're going to?
You know, what is it? It's $20 a year now. I said they'll go up to $30 a year adding a new system.
Okay. Still,
I really hope that comes with quality life improvements for like matchmaking.
Yeah, that would be nice too.
Just
Yeah,
coming with a new edition of the system, and that's it. that's they do that, and then they also say, some stability enhancements, and that's about it. So, all right. That makes a lot of sense. I can get behind that, of course. Greg, how about prediction number 2 for you?
I think we'll actually finally get a trailer for Metroid Prime 4. I think it's been in the dark for way too long, and I think it would be a nice return to at least have like a better trailer or teaser for it. I think there might be like a little caveat saying that, it's got 2022 release or something like that to it or something, but I think it's almost time that we got to see what they've been working on with Metroid Prime.
Okay. So we're just gonna a trailer, just seeing it. No release date. You think?
Yeah, no precise. If it's anything, it'll just be like 2022 or 2023 or whatever they'll show. But I don't think they usually do about 2 years in advance. So that's what I was thinking. 2022, just generic, and then people can't say like, you said it was gonna be in like January 2022 or like holiday 2022.
Okay.
Who really knows?
And we just, I forget, when was the last announcement that we got that said that they were kind of restarting everything?
I think it was January 18.
Has it been that long?
It was either 18 or 19.
Wow. Okay. I was worried that enough time hadn't passed, but if it was that long ago, yes, I agree with you. I just can't believe it's been that long.
No, I think it was 19 because I think they announced it in 18 at E3.
Okay, so by that point it'd be 2.5 years. So yeah, we could at least get a teaser or something,
like some sort of either cinematic or like some very light gameplay stuff, like Samus battling some spice pirates or whatever.
Nice. Okay, cool. My next 2 predictions are actually, they kind of go hand in hand, and so I kind of am going to be forced to do one before the other, even though it's just going to happen to go that way. But this is what has become, I believe, probably a safe prediction, and I wouldn't have said this several months ago, but I think the Switch predecessor is going to be announced at E3. It's kind of, the writing is on the wall everywhere you look right now. It is the worst kept secret in Nintendo's history, I feel like. So if it's not announced, it's one of those things like it probably will be soon after, because everything is pointing toward it. So I'm gonna say it's announced, and I think it's also coming out this holiday. I think they're gonna jump on it, and I think that's gonna be able to help them just kind of leapfrog, hopefully leapfrog space that they've missed, anytime they've missed out by these other systems coming out. But yeah, whatever they end up calling it, Super Switch 2 Pro, new XD, supersize, I don't know, whatever. But I think it's going to be announced, and I think it's coming out holiday 2021. Because I think that time frame, they're used to that. They won't stretch it out too far, because it could kind of kill sales of the existing Switch. But they don't want to do it too close, because you need some lead time and everything. So as long as all the processing, the chips and all that stuff will line up, I think they're going to announce it and release it this holiday.
Yeah, I think earlier in the chat I put the exact name: new Super Nintendo Switch Pro DS 64U XL Lite.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. All right. Barry, number 3.
Number 3. So my prediction is that we will see an older IP return, or a brand new IP from Nintendo. I think they've been pretty brazen with new IPs, between ARMS and obviously Splatoon, and just coming out there with brand new stuff. The game's creator, a Ring Fit Adventure. So we're either going to see something brand new we've never seen before, Nintendo just putting out a brand new character, or we will see something that people have been clamoring for: F-Zero, Star Fox, maybe Star Tropics if I can get my wish. But I think we'll see, at least in some format, an older IP, one or the other.
Okay, sounds good.
So even though Star Fox had a game last generation, that's still included in your umbrella?
Yes, it is, because Star Fox Zero was not well received. Star Fox Guard was a spin-off, and the only Star Fox since was the Starlink, which was awesome. I really enjoyed Starlink. I loved the Star Fox inclusion there, and that bombed so terribly. And it wasn't truly a Star Fox game. It was a better Star Fox game than Star Fox Zero, in my opinion. But I want to see them do that properly. No Toys of Life, just Star Fox 3D open world, flying into planets like that, and out of planets. That was so cool. I want to see something like that, truly.
Yeah. The other day I was at Dollar Tree and saw some Starlink characters. I was like, that's really too bad.
Yeah, and I bought them all at launch.
In the discount bin at Walmart or wherever, it's in the Dollar Tree. And I think it was like 2 for 1.
And it's a great game. It really is a fun game.
Absolutely. People should definitely check it out. And you could probably get it at a big discount right now.
Yeah.
Like those,
Dave says Mock Rider Revival.
Just like those Animal Crossing amiibo for Amiibo Festival, they all just tanked because of that.
Yeah, but now they're valuable again.
I know. Yep. That's because of New Horizons. So you have that to thank for that.
Absolutely. All right, Greg, number 3.
All right. So I made this prediction at the beginning of the year for this year, 2021, in our January podcast. So I'm still doubling down that we're going to get a Fire Emblem Echoes game this year. I have a feeling they're going to be announcing it. I'm feeling it's going to be either Binding Blade, the first one to come to the US, or if they're continuing in chronological order, that would be Genealogy of the Holy War would be the next in line to have its first game over here in the West. So I'm really thinking we'll get some more Fire Emblem news this year for Switch.
All right. And then, so for my final one, I think that similar. Actually, it kind of hits 2 of the things you talked about, Greg. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come this holiday, and I think it's going to be a launch title for the next Switch. So I think that's going to be their big, powerful one. I don't know. I think they'll probably be able to pull it off on the existing Switch and say maybe it's backward compatible or something like that, but it's going to have some extra enhanced features, maybe, be able to bump up to the 4K or constant 60 frames per second, or who knows, maybe 75, who knows. But yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing is Breath of the Wild 2 is they're going to try to get that to sell the new Switch. Breath of the Wild 1 helped sell the old or the existing Switch, even outsold the Switch for a long time. So I think they're going to see if they can actually get that same kind of success this time around, and not Metroid Prime 4. Like I don't think I think they're going to still, it's going to be in the distant future. I think it's going to be a thing that that we see. I think that's a safe bet, Greg, in terms of like a cinematic or something like that. But I think Prime 4 is still in the distant future. I think that's a game where we're going to probably, I don't know. I don't even know if 2022 anymore. It might be a 2023 game at this point.
Oh boy.
I feel like they're just going to keep polishing that thing like crazy. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a 2D Metroid game in the meantime. I think they may try to hold us over, and maybe that's one of the games that that Retro has been working on as well, as a 2D game. That maybe.
What about Mercury Steam?
Or maybe them too. Yeah. So
they did Samus Returns.
Yeah. So we'll see. I just think it may be the game that that you've been waiting on to hear from Retro to see what they're up to the last 3 years. So maybe they've been working on a 2D game that we never know about.
Maybe that. Yeah, I still want to know what they've been truly working on.
Yeah, kind of a 2 for 1. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is coming this year. Metroid Prime is in the distant future.
Do you think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to have a Switch Pro shop to copy the Oracle games where they had the Advance shop, which only worked if you played it on a Game Boy Advance? Have like a Switch Pro shop only available if you're playing it on the Switch Pro?
You know, I didn't know that it had that, but...
Yeah, Oracle Games, there's an Advance shop that sold rings, and the only way to get into that door is you got to play it on a Game Boy Advance. If you played on a Game Boy Color, the door would not open.
That would be kind of cool, actually, if they brought something like that. So normally I would say no, but if they did in the past, actually, I'm leaning toward yes.
Well, they did do it for Breath of the Wild 1, which had a Wii U version and a Switch version.
Or the same thing for
Twilight
Princess, I guess, too. So
yeah, Twilight Princess also,
yeah. So it would make sense if like for the last 3 Zelda or 2, I guess, Zelda games, they've done that whole crossover thing. So, and they've consistently done it for previous games too. So, yeah, I think it would make a lot of sense if Breath of the Wild 2 did come out with a Switch Pro or whatever it ends up being. Jared says that he definitely sees that happening the same day, and definitely backward compatible with the current Switch as well. Yeah, I think the big question is, and of course we have no idea, but like, are the next Switch games, Switch Pro, whatever it ends up being called, are they going to be like enhanced kind of games, like some of them are when they do that, or are they going to be separate packaged games? Of course, the downloadable ones will be a different story, but the packaged game, the physical games, are they going to be 2 separate things that will just then be enhanced when you play it on the new Switch, or is it going to be the same? I just actually explained that wrong. Is it going to be the same package that's going to be enhanced, or is it going to be 2 completely separate SKUs, I guess? What do you guys think?
I think that depends on if they qualify the Switch Pro as a brand new system or as like a new 3DS, or a DSi, because any game that was 3DS compatible or DS compatible could play on a DSi or a new 3DS just fine, and it ran better on the better hardware. It was the exclusive stuff for DSi or the exclusive stuff for new 3DS that the card specifically had those systems labeled and would not play on the older systems. So I do think if, in fact, they qualify this as just like an upstep like that, it'll be one card that will just run better on the Switch Pro, kind of like the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X. You get the one disc and it has both versions, or the PS4 that has the PS5 upgrade available, kind of deal.
Gotcha. Unless they, like it's a specific for the
specific Switch Pro only.
Yeah, that makes sense. Greg?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna copy. I just almost feel like it's gonna be a next gen based on how like people are saying the chip for this regular Switch isn't even really made anymore. So it almost feels like it has to be a successor, but I guess you don't really know for sure these days. I mean, it really depends on what they do with the current model. If it's just like an extension, or it's just part of the same like family. They like to say a lot, like, oh, the 3DS family of systems. So if it's like the Switch family of systems, then sure, it's going to be working on all three. If it's just going to be Super Switch, then it might need a separate version like Twilight Princess and First Breath of the Wild between two different systems. So
Yeah. Jared says that he doesn't believe there'd be separate games, maybe just a patch for the games. He could also see them doing just one game, and if the Switch Pro has DLSS in it, it will just take advantage of that. And so, yeah, I think that's probably going to be the case, unless they change things up completely. They could do a different cartridge style thing again, and only these cartridges fit in there, and they have to do the whole proprietary thing and try to make more money off of us, even though maybe they are basically the same game.
Yeah, I'll have a little extra handle on it, like the 3DS. Like
Exactly. And then Barry and his premium edition has to deal with all those things also. And you're like, is this released for Push Pro, or is this going to be? Yeah. And then it just creates all that hassle. That's we don't need Nintendo. We just really don't need it. So
is this the new Switch, the old Switch, or the new Switch 2?
Right.
Oh god.
Right. Yeah.
No. No.
Well, yeah. So that's our predictions. Again, after the fact, you're listening to this, you're watching it. Let us know what you're predicting.